Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and I want to begin by thanking you for conveying your appreciation for this interaction with Padma Shri recipient, Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Doctor, welcome. Thank you.
Namaskar, namaskar everyone.
So, just for life is the way to grow, and in your presence, I feel the way you connect with the community makes it even more enriching for us to relate to what is happening. So, before we go to the international affairs, let me come to New Jersey and the recently your presence at the Babs Robbinsville Temple's inauguration. How was
I think it was the Babs inauguration of the Akshardham. It was excellent celebration, and really it was so well organized. And the temple itself, it's a beautiful temple. It's a piece of art. It's not only, it's a marble, carved marble with all the history of Hinduism. They have display right from the Mahabharata to Ramayana, all the Munis, all the poets, those who really contributed to the literature of the Hinduism, and different story of the different mythology of the Hinduism. And it's unbelievable the way they had depicted the whole thing. And I think it's a great teaching for the young generation. So I would say every parents should take that, whether they belong to that faith, Swaminarayan faith or not, they should go there and see this piece of art and the piece of the history lesson to be taught to our young generation. And that's the main reason I think the Pramukh Swami has a vision to make to empower the second generation throughout the world. And this is, I think, what he did is left a big legacy forever.
Absolutely. And I must also say that in addition to being the temple, a wonderful piece of architecture and all that is depicted, as you mentioned, the way the inaugural ceremony was planned meticulously with the participation of artists, singers, and all speakers. And what was also significant was, Doctor, the presence of a lot of youths. And I particularly want your feeling on the segment where a youth is talking about realization of this dream, and then it is as if he is having a dialogue with Pramukh Swamiji Maharaj, who is not in a physical form, but through multimedia, and they made it appear as if he is, and of course we are in the era of artificial intelligence also, but it was very, very profound.
Very nicely done. I mean, whoever choreographed the whole thing was excellent. And the whole idea behind showing that there are, in reality, in the real world, empowering the young generation. And you can see that there were hundreds of youth, young children were there, right from 5 years to 15 years or 5 years to 25 years. And they all participating in the whole celebration, and that really commanding. And because without youth, whatever you want to convey the message does not go far beyond. And so I think it's very important what they are doing. It's absolutely my salute to them, and I really say congratulations to Mahant Swamiji, as well as whole his devotees and volunteers and everyone.
Absolutely. And when collectively people with discipline, dedication, devotion commit themselves to something bigger than themselves, it adds to the beauty of the world. Staying with the positive side for now and moving towards India, with the reference that Consul General of India also shared the message from Prime Minister Narendra Modi at this occasion, and indeed the Mayor of Delaware was present, and Mayor of this part had his message as well. So the community was combined. Now going towards India and talking about something which is very exciting and positive for India in terms of the performance of Indian athletes at the Asian Games, and for the first time 107 medals came, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also interacted with the youths, those who made India proud. Talk to me about this rise of India as a sport nation.
Well, I mean, before we talk about that Asian game, I would like to also mention that there is similar big celebration happened in Washington D.C., which is a World Cultural Festival, and that one also organized by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and Art of Living Foundation, and it was. I was lucky and privileged to be attended that function, and it was out of this world. I mean, the number of people attended was almost more than 700,000 in one evening, and that shows. And 180 countries took part in that festival, and it was done such a meticulous way. So, and it was done by a private organization. No government is behind it, or nobody else was behind it, or not big sanstha behind it. It's only one organization, and I think what I understand that they almost raised and spent almost over $20 million.
Wow. But it was spectacular, and
it was very spectacular.
Yeah, we talked about it in our previous session also, and again, continuing with what India is offering to the world in terms of a sense of oneness and harmony, it is in stark contrast to what we will be talking about regarding Israel and Palestine. But staying, as I mentioned, with the Asian Games, how do you see the vision of Prime Minister?
Well, I mean, I can see that Asian Games, our success and very, very spectacular success in the Asian Game shows that India now has appreciated the importance of the training of our youth, and this shows that our youth has a lot of potential. If you train them properly, then they can be a in the world they can be a competitor and they can be a champion, and that's the vision one should have, because by having that kind of championship or winning the games in the international level always gives the country a proud, as well as it makes the people who participate and people who are watching, or those who are fan of those sports, they all feel so good, and that's very positive feeling. And I think we should give credit to our Prime Minister for his vision and his kind of implementing this vision in reality.
Absolutely. And while interacting with these young athletes, he mentioned about how Khelo India program has worked successfully, and government have called that allotted around 250,000 rupees for this, and further there will be 300,000 rupees, etc. And one reference which he said the term is used by youth frequently nowadays is GOAT. And I wasn't aware, you probably might be, but Prime Minister knows how the abbreviations are being used. So he said, GOAT is greatest of all times, and he said each and every one of you is GOAT for me.
Right.
So that's very, very nice. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a call from Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Let us go to that reference with this conversation happening, and his tweet right after the news broke about the barbaric, brutal attack from all fronts by Hamas on Israel. How do you see the situation, the way it has unfolded?
Well, I mean, this Hamas attack on the innocent civilians is barbaric. It should be condemned 100%, and we should all stand behind the humanity. So, indirectly, we should all stand behind the government of Israel and make sure that they try to eliminate all these barbaric Hamas people, because Hamas is not really Hamas and Palestinian two different things. They do not represent really Palestinian people, and so they are literally, their main agenda is to eliminate Jewish people from that part of the land. And so I think it is condemnable, it's unacceptable, it's horrible, and I think our government of India and all the government of the world, they all stood in one voice and supporting the government of Israel to defend themselves, defend their independence, and make sure that they take the steps so this horrible thing should not happen again.
Absolutely, and based on the reports that have come, and of course there are gory visuals that have come, and killing of 260 people at a party, and then rapes in front of the family members, and beheading of innocent citizens. These are some sort of wounds which Israel have never anticipated, and everybody used to consider Israel as almost invincible, but they attacked from land, from sea, from air also. And in retaliation, once they got their act together, Israel have also started the retaliatory action, which the video was also shared by Prime Minister Netanyahu. And the recent report says that they have found, after neutralizing many of these Hamas terrorists, over 1,500 bodies of these people in Israel. But things are still tense. Now, looking at it from the international point of view, of course, America is standing with Israel, but not every country, like Turkey, of course, Iran seems to have played some role, etc. How do you see, is it ushering into a sort of further tense world, as some people say, maybe we are on the threshold of the next world war? How do you see it?
No, I mean, I hope not, and I don't think we are on the verge of the third world war or like that, but I think Israel should take a very strong action against the Hamas, and they should make sure that Israel borders are very much secure. It was very surprising that Israel is known for high security, and they get caught in napping, kind of, you know. And along, not only Israel, but along with the Israel, even this USA intelligence also caught in napping, that nobody knew that this is going to happen, and this happened a big way, because to kill 1,000 Israeli individuals in one evening or one day, that is almost like equivalent of 22,000 in USA population comparison. So it's unbelievable, and I think a lot of lesson to be learned from this, and hopefully Israel should take, because there are 100 civilians and soldiers are still as a hostage in the Gaza Strip. So Israel has to be very, very smart and to plan out what kind of ground attack they should do, because when the ground attack happens, and that happened 15 years ago in 2007, Israel has to backfoot the whole thing, because it is impossible to fight, because it doesn't matter you have tank or plane, but people who are on the ground, their guerrilla war is impossible to win. And therefore, I think and a lot of innocent casualty can happen. So I think everything has to be balanced out, and think very carefully how they should go about it. Yeah. And once they go about it, probably even from the north Israel, Hezbollah will start shelling the rockets again to Jerusalem. And so this may whole thing can kindle even more. So let's see, hopefully all this thing doesn't happen, and those 100 people, those who are hostages, they should return home safely, and then Israel should see what they can do to mitigate or resolve this problem.
Absolutely, and as the report suggests, Israel claims to have again regained its control on the border. Plus, the way things are still, these are developing moments, a lot of casualties are happening. But going towards India, and as we move towards the concluding part, as we mentioned earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was quick to tweet India's support for Israel, but politically speaking, in India, the Congress party has issued a statement which is in support of Hamas. Now, how do you see that, especially when the images that we just mentioned about are so shocking? How can anybody and a party like Congress express their solidarity.
I'm not aware of that statement completely, but what I read on the TV kind of news alert, that what Congress was saying in the resolution, that they support the right of the Palestine to rights of Palestinian people, not Hamas. So I don't know detail because I don't know the whole story, but I don't think, and they should not support the Hamas or Hamas Act. I mean, that is horrible.
Yeah. Actually, maybe terminology might have alluded to what you mentioned, but when that statement is coming right after what has happened recently, then it kind of brings you to
That's right.
take
It
that.
brings a bad perception or bad optics.
So we hope, as you mentioned, that good sense prevail, and as we conclude, your parting words for our viewers.
Well, dear friends, I mean, we had a huge celebration of inauguration of the Akshardham in North America. I think that will leave big legacy, a long-lasting legacy for our Hinduism and Hindu and Sanatan Dharma, and so we are very proud of it, and we really congratulate and thank Pramukh Swami and his vision, and current chief of BAPS, Mahant Swami, and their volunteers and all the workers who did such a hard work. It took 10 years to build this temple, and this is a beautiful temple. Is a piece of art, and you must visit that with your children, because you can teach them what is Hinduism, what are the poets of the poets happened in the past, what is the Mahabharata, what is the Ramayana, and what lesson to be learned from that. You can learn whole Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma in one temple by watching this or visiting this temple. So please do so. And after saying that, I would like to say, God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American, and we'll see you next time. Till then, I love you all. Enjoy the life. Thank you.